Welcome to the Boarding Lounge Podcast. I'm George the Travel Genius. My apologies for not doing the podcast last week. I had a family emergency to attend to, but now I'm back and ready to talk all things travel. And this episode is definitely going to be a good one, so let's just dive right in. By now, most everyone has seen the photos and videos of the Aeroflot Sukhoi Superjet that crash-landed in Moscow. Probably some of the scariest live footage I've seen since, probably United Flight 232 in Sioux City, Iowa, back in 1989. I'm not about to conjure up any guesses or start speculating on the cause of the crash. That's what the investigations are for. I've been around far too long to start guessing as to the cause of the tragedy, but the point of my rambling today is how 41 people died on this plane when they most certainly did not have to. That's right, you heard me. These people did not have to die. Now, y'all are asking, but George, isn't the flight crew responsible for the evacuation and egress of the plane? Well, yes, they most certainly are. And from all accounts, each member of the crew did their damnedest to get these people off the plane. Tatiana Katsakina and Maxim Moiseev are the heroes of this flight in my eyes. They got people off as fast as they could. What was the holdup, you ask? It was pure selfish greed. Evacuating passengers, wasting precious time getting their carry-ons first, and then hightailing it off the plane. That's right, the carry-ons are to blame. Oh, wait, no, they're not. Make that the selfish blowhard who put his carry-on's value before that of the human lives behind him while the plane was literally burning around him. And the lead flight attendant is literally grabbing people by the collar and throwing them clear of the inferno. We've seen the disgusting photos from the Emirates 777 fire in Dubai and the American Airlines 767 engine fire in Chicago, where people were casually walking away with their bags. Idiots, one and all. How dare they endanger an entire aircraft full of people so they could have their stuff, or, God forbid, their duty-free liquor and tobacco. To hell with them. The overhead bins need to be closed and locked while the aircraft is in motion on the ground or in an emergency. That's what I'm calling for. There's absolutely no reason at all these bins need to be accessed until you're at cruising altitude. Those 41 people on Aeroflot 1492 did not have to die at all. To those 41 that did, I'm sorry your lives weren't worth more than some fat, overfed slob's duty-free caviar. I only pray that the lowlife could see the carnage he's responsible for, and I place him right up there with the Turks, Nazis, Stalin, and Lenin, and all their ilk. I pray that he never sleeps another single solitary night in peace. You know, I just can't wrap my head around it. Every single flight I've been on, every single safety demo I've paid attention and sat through, and every single safety card I've read, and I have a ton of them in my collection, say, in an emergency, leave everything behind, move in an orderly and calm fashion, get to the nearest exit, and jump. Nowhere is it said, grab your shit and meander. I was so thrilled reading the article of Tatiana Katsakina grabbing passengers by their scruff and literally hurling them down the slide. Bravo to her, pure grace under immense pressure. Again, I don't think it would be too much to ask to lock the overhead bins under 10,000 feet or an emergency situation. Is it? Or am I completely off my rocker? I would love to hear what my listeners have to say about this, so email me at info@georgethetravelgenius.com or hit me up on social media, and let's get this debate going. Now, I know I'm going to get the question regarding Aeroflot and safety, so here's my 2 cents on it. I wholeheartedly love the airline. It, along with MEA, are the SkyTeam Alliance's best-kept secrets. Aeroflot is simply one of the best airlines hopping the Atlantic. The fares in all classes are more than reasonable. The onboard service and on the ground are second to none, And while Sheremetyevo Airport could use an upgrade or 5, connections are relatively easy. Safety is also at the core of Aeroflot's operations. The 2 flight attendants on 1492 were properly trained and did their absolute best, even though Maxim Moisev succumbed to the fire during the evacuation. May his memory be eternal and he rest in peace. So all that being said, I do book Aeroflot for my clients frequently, and I fly them myself. I encourage everyone to try them at least once. Trust me, I'm the genius. It is one of the most heavily visited Mediterranean countries during the summer. It has everything a tourist could ever want in a trip: exquisite food, culture, history, sights, islands, beaches, mountains, a very warm, friendly, and helpful people to show you around as well. A quick 9 or 10 hour flight from North American gateways of New York JFK, Philadelphia, Montreal, and now Chicago O'Hare mean plenty of options for American travelers without having to change planes in a massive European hub. Unless, of course, you're heading somewhere besides the capital. Yep, I'm talking about Greece, Hellas, the cradle of civilization, spawning ground of travel geniuses, restaurateurs, and general badasses the world over. So let's get down to brass tacks. If you're a U.S. citizen, you need your passport, of course, but no visa. Bonus right there. Let's start with the basics. The high tourist season is from early May to just about Labor Day. The absolute best time to go, though, in this humble travel genius's opinion, is mid to late April or mid-September to early October. The airfare and hotels will be far more economically priced, especially if you're flying into Athens. Another bonus for being there in the so-called shoulder season is the lack of suffocating crowds. You walk down the Plaka in Athens during the middle of summer, and you'll know what it's like to be in a mosh pit in one of those huge music festivals Europe is known for. You're literally shoulder to shoulder with others, no matter where you are. The shoulder season, not so much. Most islands are also still open as well, and the Aegean, Ionian, and Mediterranean waters are still warm. Now, let's talk about a few choice spots. First and foremost is the capital city, Athens, or as us Greeks call it, Athena. It is one of Europe's best capitals. There is so much to do in Athens. I could barely begin to figure out where to start. So I am going to go over some of the tours I've been on in my past trips there when I've had to go for work. So I do recommend any of the tours offered by my friends at Athens Insiders or at Greeking.me. Tell them I sent you. Last year I had the distinct pleasure of being on a couple of these tours by these fabulous folks. First was an incredibly fun walking food tour by Athens Insiders that took us all over central Athens, where we learned the history of and ate tiropita, cheese pies wrapped in filo pastry, bougatsa, a custard-filled pastry, and Greek coffee. Oh, sweet nectar of the gods. Then it was off to the Varvakios Market, which is Athens' central market, and probably one of the biggest markets I've been in Europe. Some of the freshest produce, seafood that was just hauled in from the sea, and some of the best cuts of meat I've seen on display anywhere outside the U.S. Let's see here. After that, we also went to the oldest meat market in Athens, the Miran Pastourma shop, which is just this really cool little dried meat shop, just maybe 2 or 3 blocks away from the central market. It was open in 1922 at the same location, and that was probably one of the funnest parts of that little tour. All right, so I've got some pretty good sales going on now. One that I came across today is Abercrombie & Kent. They have quite a few expedition cruises down to Antarctica for the remainder of this year and into next year. One sailing, it looks like it's the Classic Antarctica 2019, leaving December 7th, coming back the 19th. You're looking at 13 days from $12,995 per person. So if that's of interest to you, please hit me up for more info and let me know. I also have Antarctica, South Georgia, and the Falkland Islands for 2019 into 20. One sailing is December 17th, coming back January 3rd. It's an 18-day sailing. And another one is January 1st, New Year's Day 2020, through the 18th. And that one is also, that's another 18-day cruise. These are phenomenal sails and phenomenal cruises. I've been on one once. If you've got any, if you want any info, please hit me up on social media or email me at info@georgethetravelgenius.com. Well, that's about it for me for tonight. Thank you for tuning in. I am George the Travel Genius. I'm always keeping Travel 100, so I will see you guys next week from the opening of the TWA Hotel at New York's JFK Airport.